Hello, I'm your host, Bridget Denahan, and I'm happy to welcome you to yet another No Plans Necessary episode where I meet a stranger and hang out for a bit. When Mandy walked into our studio wearing a fur, sunglasses, and a bright lip, I knew I was in for an interesting chat. Her presence was bold, but her demeanor was relaxed and quiet, and I quickly learned why. She's a singer and performer who has experienced tough heartaches this year. The loss of her mother and caring for her sick father. She shares the spectacular experience of reopening the famous Ryman Auditorium, playing Patsy Cline in the musical Always Patsy Cline. We talk about the merits of easy listening music and a bunch more. Listen in. As I was just saying before we started recording, I'm getting over a cold, so if I do indeed have like a coughing fit, maybe we'll cut that out because no one wants to listen to that. But other than that, Miss Mandy, thank you for being here, unsurprisingly.
Thanks for having me.
Now, we were walking through the hall on the way to the studio, and you told me that you are a member of the famous Grand Ole Opry.
I am.
Okay, tell me about that.
Well, I've been playing the Opry for 31 years, so since 1994, and then I was made a member in 2021.
How does that happen? How do you become a member?
You know, that is the million-dollar question. I don't really know. It's different reasons for different people. I think for me, I started out working with the Opry and Ryman Hospitalities in the mid-'90s. We relaunched the Ryman Auditorium. They've been dormant for years.
Thank you for doing that because it is one of the best spaces to see a show.
It is.
In town. It's such a beautiful experience. So
it is.
you.
And I've been lucky enough to have played it hundreds of times just from we were in residence doing a musical.
What was the musical?
It was called Always Patsy Cline. It was a brand new musical at the time. And so, yeah, they decided that would be, that's what they wanted to use to relaunch the Ryman, and it was very successful. And then we came back and did another 6-month run in 95. And then through a span of like 20 years, we did 6 different runs. And that was what introduced me to Nashville.
With that same show?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'd like to see that. You know, we were talking about Jonathan and I live just up the road. We're really giving away secrets on this podcast because our last guest, we both realized that I can see Garth and Trish's house from our neighborhood. Now they're far away, but because it's higher
the house
than
on
us,
the hill.
The house on the hill. I can see their Christmas
mansion
lights.
on the hill.
Yeah, exactly. But we also live truly like just down the street or up the street, I should say, from Patsy's dream house. Like her house where she lived, which what I love about it is that it was her dream house, and it's just a humble but beautiful ranch home and just kind of a regular neighborhood, and I love that. She has some gorgeous knockout roses in her front yard that I want to steal in the dead of night.
We could probably root them. My grandmother used to be able to do that. Just pinch off a little piece and root it. They've actually turned it into an Airbnb, and I met the woman who now owns the house. And she actually said that I could. Yeah, I could. Okay. You know, I spoke with her and I was like, I love these knockout roses. I'd love to have them. So anyway, I digress about Patsy Cline. What an incredible force of a woman she was. What an incredible legacy and voice. Now, what did you play in that show? I was Patsy Cline.
No.
Yeah, it was a 2-woman show. Yeah, 2-woman show. And it was a story about Patsy Cline. She was going to Houston and playing a show with a band she didn't know. She was by herself. And so she shows up to the club early, and one of her biggest fans was so excited to get to see her. She showed up early to find a good place to park, and they end up just becoming friends that night. And
Wow.
And she goes home with her, stays the night with her because the hotel was too far, and they have bacon and eggs, and they just started this friendship that lasted till the end of Patsy Cline's life. You know, Patsy was only 30 years old when she was killed. She was young and never got to see the amount of fame that she ended up having in death.
Yeah.
So that's really
So the
sad.
show is about those two women.
About those two. So it's not a life story. And I think that's what makes it so unique, is just a kind of a snippet in her life. And it also shows what it was like going out on the road back then. Sometimes you couldn't afford, I mean, even still it's that way. Sometimes you can't afford to take a band. And you're going out and you're working with people you don't know. They don't know your songs. And it can be a complete disaster. And so she was nervous. And this woman, Louise Seeger, made her feel better. She made her feel like she wasn't alone in it. She was worried about the drummer rushing her, which I can't blame her for that. That's that's legit. And so she had Louise kind of help keep the drummer in line.
Oh, neat. What's your favorite Patsy Cline song? Do you have a favorite?
I don't. They're all good.
They're
all good. Yeah, and you know, doing a show like that, it's the music was amazing, and so I never got tired of singing the songs. Really.
So we talked about when the show ran, but what was the runtime of that show? It's like a 90-minute.
It was, or 2 acts. No, probably 2.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 hours.
Is there a place to see clips or it in its entirety online somewhere?
Probably some of it. Now, the show was such a hit, it has been in every little community theater all across America.
Neat.
So you may not see me, but you can see, you know, the show online. But we also did a soundtrack album that's available on all the outlets, and it's the original cast of Always Patsy Cline live at the Ryman. And so Universal put that out in 95. So that's available, and you can kind of get a good sense of what it's about by listening to that.
So later today, I can go look that up and hear what you sound like.
Yeah. I was 18 years old.
Oh, my goodness. Young.
Young.
So young.
Yeah.
So when
And like you, I had the flu, you know?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was one of those things. But it actually sounds pretty good because I knew I had the flu, but I had to just kind of soldier through.
Oh, geez.
But I was 18. You could do that then. Now I would be like
we are in
the hospital.
We are in the bed when we get sick these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for sharing a little bit about your career. That is fascinating. Almost as fascinating as that fabulous coat that you have on that I'm going to try to wiggle you out of later before you leave. They're so good. It's so good. Tell me, so the podcast is called Surprisingly. We sit here and we're talking about kind of anything and everything. People, of course, come sit with me and we inevitably talk about people's career, but we also talk about personal things as well. There's no set format. And so I just off the cuff, I'm going to ask you some wild questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let's see. What is the loveliest thing that has happened to you lately?
The loveliest thing, well, it's bittersweet because my good friend Jeannie Seely, who was a member of the Opry, a legendary performer, she just passed away. And I'm doing her show now. She had a show with SiruisXM, and so I wasn't expecting it at all. But they offered the show to me, and so I have been doing that weekly show on Sundays from 12 to 4.
What is it?
It's called Sundays with Mandy, and it was called Sundays with Seely then. But it just means a lot to me to get to do her show because I looked up to her so much, and
I hate that. I hate that we lost her this year because she was just such a force, and we thought that she would just last forever because she was just one of those people that was just so vibrant. But she was 85 years old, and so she just started having some illnesses and just couldn't get over them. So so it makes me feel good to know that I can carry on that show and honor her legacy and think about her, talk about her, because we all miss her. And so that has meant a lot to me to do that.
That is a lovely thing that happened from grief and sadness
from grief.
and pain. Yeah,
definitely. It's been a hard year. I lost my mother shortly before I lost Jeannie, and when my mother died, she passed right before Mother's Day. Jeannie, who was going through all of her own stuff, she called me and said, "Look, I know this is your first Mother's Day without your mother," and that just touched my heart so much because I thought, here you are going through so much of your own stuff, and you thought enough of me to call me and comfort me. And so I'm just lucky for a lot of the wonderful people that I've met in my life that have cared about me.
Need fresh content like social and web assets, copywriting, and more? Visit freshconsumables.com.
grief is tough, and I know we were taking photos earlier, and I had asked you, how your holiday season is going, and you said, it's a little rougher than normal because you've experienced loss. This year. I'm sorry to hear about your losses, especially your mother. That's tough.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for talking about it. I've lost 2 parents myself when they were quite young.
Yeah.
And so it's just a different kind of brand of grief. Certainly like losing a child, losing a partner, losing parents. Those are the big ones. So thank you for coming in here and continuing to live your life and being brave in the face of sadness. How are you feeling about the holidays given your loss this last year?
Well, it's been tough because Mom was sick all last year, and then my father was sick all last year, and then he's kind of hit a tough spot. He's in the hospital right now. So I don't know how the holidays are going to be. I'm working through them. I'm working. I'm doing Opry Country Christmas. I'm doing SiruisXM. So I'm just working as much as I can and just trying to get through it. I still, have traditions with my family that I plan to continue, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to spend it with my dad, but I'm just going to try and get through it.
What are your holiday traditions?
Well, my Aunt Linda, my mother's sister, she always makes a big spread. I've never seen anyone just whomp out a turkey and ham and dressing.
Whomp it out, she says.
She can, some people can just
create magic in the kitchen.
A big dinner. She can do that so easily, and she's just the best. And so, just the same meal I've had my whole life. So I am looking forward to that.
Is she here in town or in Crossville?
No, she's in Crossville,
Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah. So the same house, the same food. So there will be some things that are the same, even though there are a lot of people missing. But it's important to me to be able to eat Aunt Linda's dressing and pumpkin pie as long as I possibly can, as long as she can make it.
That's sweet. I love that you are a person who recognizes how special it is to have that tradition, even though, like you said, it's the same thing, but that doesn't make it any less beautiful. What a gift, right? Like, shout out to all the people in our lives and in our families who can go into a kitchen and create something special. The thing that that's playing in the back of my mind right now is years ago, a couple of our friends came in, and this was before we had our child. We lived in this tiny little house, and we were broke as a joke, of course, because we were young. And friends came to see us, and we woke up. We'd gone out to the gay bars the night before, so we kind of tied one on. So we were all a little hungover, getting up, and our friend Xavier he was like, well, what are we eating this morning? And I was like, honey, we don't have anything in this kitchen. And he was like, oh, well, he opens up my cabinets, opens up the refrigerator, and he's like, oh, you don't need to go to the store. Store was just a few blocks away. I was like, I'll go buy anything you need, because I know he sticks his whole entire foot, knee, and hip bone in it when he cooks. And he was like, no, you've got enough. And girl, I think we had like a potato, some eggs. When I tell you, I've never seen anything like it. Just someone who knows how to season properly, which is not me. And I love to eat. I do not love to cook. I have cried over food. Because it's
so good.
It's so good. My father-in-law made mashed potatoes one time, and I cried with the spoon in my mouth. That's how much I love food. It was like, I think we were engaged. He was like, well, honey, are you crying? I was like, yes, I am weeping openly because these damn mashed potatoes are so good.
Did it remind you of like of another time, or was it just because it tasted so good?
No, and listen, we're getting real honest here, as we always are, but I was raised by my dad and my stepmother, who those are the people, my parents who are have passed, and then my birth mother is still living. I have a wonderful relationship with her. My stepmom wasn't really a cook.
Yeah.
You know, she did her best. I'm the same way, so there's no judgment in that.
Yeah.
But I think maybe in adulthood, it's given me, it was like hamburger helper, and I'm gonna give some stuff away. But do you know, forgive my language, just because you have that nice coat on, those beautiful glasses, I hope I'm not too trashy for you on this Thursday morning.
You're fine.
Okay, good. A little wink and a nod. Have you ever heard of something called shit on a shingle?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad ate it in the Army.
Okay, I'm going to let you go first. Tell the people what it is.
Okay, it's like toast and some kind of like slop gravy and sausage?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You can make it with hamburger, you can make it with sausage, but that's what it is. And also, no shade, because it's pretty damn tasty.
It's good. Yeah, it really is.
So lots of shit on a shingle, lots of hamburger helper, an occasional meatloaf. I thought I didn't like meatloaf until I had somebody else's meatloaf. I was like, oh, meatloaf can actually be good if it's done properly. Yeah. That's one thing my father-in-law also makes really, really well, is meatloaf. So to answer your question, no, it is not that it was reminiscent of any delicious food I have ever had. It was more that people in my life as an adult really know how to cook well, and I have such a deep appreciation for it. So I'm glad that you're a fellow food lover, because
I love it.
It makes life worth living.
And I do appreciate people that can do it, because to them it's a great stress reliever.
Yeah.
And it's like art. It's creating art.
It absolutely is art. And the people I've talked to who love to cook and are good at it, you're right. Everyone I know who does that, just like you said, it's a stress reliever, and the way they feel when they're watching people enjoy their food is like, that's the thing that gives them a sense of purpose, right? Like any other kind of artist, for sure. So speaking of being any kind of artist, and you are an artist as well, tell me, we talked a little bit about the holidays and how you're feeling coming into this season. What do you do anything to caretake yourself when things are hectic and stressful as a performer, as someone who has to kind of be perfect when you're on the stage?
I'm trying. That's something that I'm having to learn how to say no to some things.
Good for you.
And that's a hard thing.
It is.
Because I tend to want to please people and not let people down. And so, but there's just so much, there's only so much you can do. And when you're juggling so many things in your personal life, and I'm an only child, so when my parents are sick, it's on me.
It's all you.
It's all me. So, so just trying to make time for naps, trying to make time for therapy, just making time to not let myself get too bogged down, sick, or too stressed out. Also setting boundaries with people and not letting them pull you into their crap.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of that. I just turned 50. So
Congratulations.
I feel like, you know, since my mother died, I've turned 50, that I'm just kind of like, okay, I've had enough of the bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, lots of people that have sat in our chair with us so far, there's been lots of talk about self-care, meditation, therapy, what therapy has done for people, what setting boundaries does for people, what figuring out, whether it's like, oh gosh, it's anxiety that I've been dealing with my whole life, and now for the first time I know what it is. And I always say, and I'm not being silly when I say this, like, thank you for caretaking yourself well and doing that work, because it is a different type of work.
Yeah.
You have to make time. It's such horseshit that you have to make time to take care of yourself. But when people do it individually, I think it makes the world a better place.
Yeah.
You taking care of you matters.
It absolutely does.
Yeah. What, so tell me, we talked a little bit about your mother and father. What is a cherished memory that you have of your mother?
Oh my gosh.
That's a tough one, because
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully there are a million, but like picking the first one that filters into your brain.
There's so many. I mean, only child. She was like my first friend. And I don't want to cry talking about her. There's just too many.
I'm not trying to make you cry.
It's okay. It's fresh. She passed in May, but she was my greatest champion. And we spent so many wonderful years. And I miss her every day. And I guess the thing that I could say about Mom, she helped me figure out early on who I am, what my purpose is. It hasn't always been easy, but I never had to worry or wonder, am I going to be a doctor? Am I going to be a dog catcher? Am I going to be, what am I going to do with my life? I never had to wonder about that, because she recognized early on that I could sing, and she cultivated that.
Really?
And not in a stage mom kind of way.
Okay.
She was so just kind of meek and had the best personality. Everyone loved dealing with her. She wasn't aggressive, like, here, listen to my kid, just pushing me down people's throats. She didn't do that. So everyone loved Mom. And, but she made it happen for me. She was consistent. She made sure that I had good opportunities, but she wasn't pushy or nasty about it, because that ends up hurting the kid.
Oh, yeah.
When you've got a mama out there that's just wearing everyone out, they'll take it out on the kid.
Yep. We've, I've mentioned previously in this podcast, we're a content studio affiliated with an ad agency, and as a creative director and writer, I've written TV spots with kids in them. And there is such a stark difference between an overbearing stage parent and one who is just laying back in the cut and letting their little baby do what their little baby does well. There was one gal that we cast years ago, and just raw talent. She had to be about 7 at the time. Mm-hmm. And her mom just stayed out of our way. Now, she was always nearby, because of course when you're dealing with children, like, you want the parent, you want the protector to be there. We shouldn't be having children alone with adults that
That's right.
They don't know personally. But she just stayed there and away in a way that was really impressive, and it telegraphs to the child, I trust you. Mm-hmm. I believe in you, that you are good enough to handle all this pressure. You've got 30 people maybe on the set. So how did she do that for you? What ways when you were you going to auditions and things like that?
Different things, contests. I ended up getting a record deal when I was 12 years old with Universal.
What?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, I'd gone as far as I could in East Tennessee. I did a contest at Dollywood, and I was 10 years old, and worked there for a couple of summers. Mm-hmm. And then we realized, well, we can only go so far in East Tennessee. We're going to have to start hitting Nashville.
Yeah.
So I ended up on the Ernest Tubb Midnight Jamboree.
Oh, wow.
And this producer heard me, and it was just this weird scenario because this guy had moved to Nashville to run Frank Sinatra's publishing company, and he had produced these Boots Are Made for Walking for Nancy Sinatra. He'd written a lot of songs for Elvis. He was an arranger. He did Goldfinger for Shirley Bassey. Did a lot of the James Bond stuff.
A few things that we've heard
a lot of amazing things, and had been part of the Wrecking Crew. His name was Billy Strange, and he discovered me and got me with Jimmy Bowen, who was running Universal, and they signed me, and then when Jimmy left, he went to Capitol. He took me with him. And so for 6 years, I was recording, never released anything. That was sort of that was sort of my heartbreak at the time, because I was, thinking, I'm going to put a record out. It's going to be so exciting, and I'm going to be a star, and all these great things are going to happen. And it didn't happen that way, but a lot of great things did happen because I'm in the studio every week or whenever. He spent a ton of money on me recording and letting me try things. I mean, I was working with James Taylor's band. I'm like 13, 14 years old, working with Leland Sklar and Carlos Vega.
The front door. What kind of things were you recording? Was it country music? Was it blues? Was it a
little bit of everything?
Wow.
Kind of new country when it was first becoming new country, old country, blues. So I figured out as much about what I didn't want to do as anything.
What were you refining in those years?
I wasn't loving the pop country that was becoming more popular. That wasn't my thing. And
all right.
So when I auditioned for Patsy Cline and started doing the musical, that just reinforced that the whole reason why I loved to sing was because of the music. And that the style of the music is very important. I can't just sing anything. Mm-hmm. And those stylists from the 50s and 60s, that's who I looked up to. And so that the landscape was changing so much. And I didn't really know how to fit in. But
so you're 18. What year are we looking at when you're going back to the Ryman and doing that?
That was 94, 95.
95, okay.
We did it through 2011. So that's the most recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell me a little bit more about, so you literally spent years making music that never got released to the public. Do you have a why for that? Why did that
happen?
Yeah.
Well, I think Bowen thought that kids didn't sell. That was his mindset, or he wasn't sure whether kids could sell, or maybe he wondered whether I could sell. I don't know.
Kids Bop would beg to differ.
But the thing was, I wasn't kid-like.
Right.
So that was I wasn't singing in a way that would really appeal to other 13-year-olds.
Sure.
I wasn't Taylor Swift. I was like 13, 14 with an old soul. Mm-hmm. So I was different. And so I think it made it a little bit more complicated. That's probably why I haven't had a career in the mainstream, because I am kind of niche, however you say it.
They didn't, I think, either or, honey. They didn't know where to put you.
Yeah, they didn't.
Okay. So what happened to all those recordings? Do you have them?
I have copies of them, but they're owned by Capitol Records.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Will you give the people, do you use your real name or a stage name?
It's a real name.
Okay.
Mandy Barnett.
Okay. So if you want to look her up on the World Wide Web so that people know exactly who you are, and of course we'll tag you in our posts and things like that. I'm dying now to hear what your voice sounds like. I'm immediately doing that when I go home, and I'm also looking for clips of the musical as well. So then take me back to when you were first talking about your mom and how she saw that immediately in you. Were you just, not every household is a musical household. I know Jonathan and I, music is, we do not have a quiet house, but we do not have the television on. There's always a record playing. We're playing something on our phone through the Bluetooth. It's loud in there at all times, even though there's just the three of us, because we want to cultivate that kind of environment, regardless of any of us having talent. When I say any of us, I can't sing, but my husband and daughter both can.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in that kind of environment? And what was the light bulb moment, maybe for both of your parents or your mom, that's like, listen, this little baby has a gift?
Mom knew when I was in diapers because I could learn the lyrics and sing the song in time and pitch. So that's when she realized I could sing, and then she just kept noticing it. But my family on her side all could sing. Every one of them could sing, and they could sing, they could hear harmony.
Okay.
They could switch parts, and really they all could have been professional singers. And it's funny because, they were all just kind of like day laborers and plumbers and everything, and some of them had teeth and some of them didn't, and they could all just rear back and sing.
I was going to ask you too, do we know where that came from? And you answered my question before I even asked it. Did your mom sing around the house too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she had it too.
Wow. That's incredible.
But she smoked cigarettes, so she...
They all did.
Yeah, they all did. But, so after a certain point of smoking, and especially when you sing, you have to use it or you will lose it.
That's true.
That is so true. And, I don't ever go, 2 or 3 weeks without singing something because everything, it's like a muscle. It's like, if you're a runner, you have to run to keep it up. So...
What are some of your... I don't know anyone in my personal life who's a singer. So tell me about some of the things that you have to do as a vocalist to exercise your muscle.
Well, I used to do nothing. I, could stay out all night, drink, smoke, act
you
crazy.
Don't say.
Yeah. And be fine the next day. That is not the case anymore. So basically I just make sure that I'm singing, even if I'm singing at home. I run some scales sometimes, but basically just practice.
Just sing.
Yeah, I just sing.
And does anyone in your life hear you sing when you're not on stage? Do you sing in front of your friends? And
I do, and my dogs.
Tell me about your dogs. How many dogs do you have?
I have 2, Toots and Boots.
Stop it. That's cute. What kind of dogs are
Pomeranians. They're brothers.
Stop it. 2 little guys. Do
Yes.
they sing with you?
Oh, they love music. Yeah, anytime
Really?
I have a rehearsal, they come down and they're just very curious about it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, they love it.
Well, speaking of rehearsals, so you're on the Opry. What does that schedule look like? What are you working on any given week?
Well, when under normal circumstances, usually once or twice a week. Now, with the Opry Country Christmas, it's been 2 and 3 times a week. So I'm doing a show tonight. Next week is a little bit lighter. Then right before Christmas, we have 3 shows back to back. So a little bit of more of a intense schedule this December with the Opry, but I'm a regular, and always have been. And I was lucky because I got to town at the right time. A lot of my heroes were still alive. I got to do a good 10 or so years with Porter Wagner and Little Jimmy Dickens, and you know, the old guard that I learned so much from, because it was just a different time. They could do it all. They could host the show. They could write their songs. They could sing. They could just, and they had an incredible work ethic. They weren't whiners. They could, you know, they could handle it. So it was really, really great to get to work with that generation.
Wow. So when you're doing a show, how much rehearsal time for something like the Opry? How many times are you rehearsing before you're performing that first time?
Usually we will do a run through when I get there. I'll get there like at 5 and the show starts at 7, and we may run the song or we may not. I mean, it's a great band. They're all just...
You've all worked together for so long,
years,
too.
yeah.
It's like second nature. You know what you're doing.
And they're the best of the best. And so it's easier to go in and wing it sometimes with them. And I'm doing the Christmas stuff so much, I don't rehearse anymore because I'm doing the same 3 songs. I also have a Christmas show that I'm doing at 3rd and Lindsley on December 18th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Neat. How is that with other people?
Nope, just me and a band.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
What? Okay, give me a taste of. Tell me at least one of the songs that you're doing on the Opry for Christmas, and then tell me at least one of the songs that you're doing for your solo show.
Well, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree.
Classic.
And I'm doing a bunch of Christmas songs on my Christmas show, but I like to mix it up so it won't be all Christmas, because it's not like I have, you know, a children's choir and Santa Clauses and the whole set.
Yeah.
So it can start getting a little monotonous when you're doing Christmas music, because they do tend to sound similar.
They can.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? What is your personal favorite right now? Holiday song.
I love Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Oh, that's a sweet one.
It is. It's a little sad and sweet.
Sad and slow. Jonathan and I were talking about this at dinner the other night, what our favorites are. And I've forgotten your favorite. Will you tell me again?
What's it called? Night Divine?
Yeah, what is that?
Holy Night.
Holy Night. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful.
That walk up, I'm just like, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. He's not too shabby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm lucky. That one and mine's Carol of the Bells. It's so haunting.
Yeah.
I love hearing that, especially like a cappella.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Our daughter goes to Catholic school, and sometimes she asks me to go to Mass with her during the week. And they do this trick. When it's time for communion, the song leader, who's just amazing, will sort of sing the first 2 words and then drop out. And then the piano player, we're very lucky, we have Crazy Kyle, who is the pianist for the Preds here in town. He's the church pianist as well. And they'll stop the music and just let the kids sing. And I bawl like a baby every single time these kids do it. I've heard the same dang song. I asked my daughter, I said, honey, do you always sing that particular song during the communion? And she's like, no, Mom, you just usually come on special Mass days, and that is the hymn that we sing on those days. And I'm like, it gets me every time. And I know it's coming, and I bring a tissue, and I feel so silly because I'm like, people are probably like, what is wrong with this lady? She's got a lot going on. No, I don't have a lot going on in my life. I'm just taking.
It's just moving.
It is so moving, and the acoustics are good in there, and I'm a little bit of a sap anyway, so it's easy to make me cry.
I'm becoming sappier, I think, as time goes on. Things tend to move me.
Say more about that.
I don't know what it is. I'll hear a song, same thing, and just brings me to tears. I don't know.
What do you have? Okay, we're going to get maybe a little spiritual here. Do you have connective tissue songs with your mother? I'm sure you do, that remind you of her, that you hold close to your heart. And have you heard them since she's passed?
Unchained Melody is one that kills me when I hear it. Especially, and it's not even really the Righteous Brothers, it's Montavani.
I don't know who that is. Tell me.
He was an arranger, and he did a gorgeous arrangement of Unchained Melody. It's easy listening. And she was really stressed out. This was when she first came to live with me, and there was just so much change going on for her. And it's really hard when you're sick and you're having to give up your home and you're having to give up your freedom, everything.
How long did you caretake her?
A little over a year.
It's a long time.
But she was so sick, and she just couldn't do it, you know. So anyway, I made her an easy listening playlist, and she would sit outside listening to. I knew when I heard like Moon River and Unchained Melody. She, you know, so every time I hear those songs, I think about her because she used that to chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're both beautiful songs. I love those. Do you also listen to easy listening yourself?
I love easy listening.
I do too.
Do you?
Yeah, I really do. And
I kind of wonder if it's making a comeback because, like, people like Casey Musgraves, she's using strings, and I kind of think that it's making its way back, and I'd love to see that because I'm so tired of loud guitars and drums.
I like a little bit of everything. I don't get into metal. Punk is really hard for me to listen to. It's just too aggressive, and I get. I mean, to each their own. I don't think it's a waste of time to make fun of what anybody listens to. It's art.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for everyone. But I like easy listening. Speaking of, XM radio, I'm so mad. I'm about to write a strongly worded letter because they always take yacht rock off and on, take it on, put it on and take it off of the radio sort of seasonally. And they're like, well, you can always get it in the app. I don't use the app. I just have it in my car.
Yeah.
And genuinely, I don't like it. Ironically, I love that music. It's happy music. It's calm. It's calming.
Yes.
And it's fun. And same thing with easy listening. I mean, why not? Just be lulled to your happy place by smooth sounds.
It's relaxing. I don't want to be amped up.
Yeah.
I want to chill out. It's the same thing with like Hallmark and the Golden Girls. It's like, I want to be able to watch the Golden Girls all year.
Yeah. Yeah. What do they call it? It's like comfort music and your comfort shows,
yes.
right? You want to just nuzzle down and be sort of petted.
Yeah. It is like a warm hug.
Yeah.
Those things that the music and the shows that make you feel nostalgic. And
It is a warm hug. Our show is executive produced by Sherry Day, Farley Day, and John Arnold. Produced, edited, and engineered by Jonathan Kosick. Extra creative magic provided by other fine folks at our sister agency, Artists and Outlaws, including design by Josh Ford and digital management by Nate Hook. If you live in the Nashville area or are visiting soon and want to be a guest, email us at jonathan@freshconsumables.com. That's JONATHAN@freshconsumables.com. Want to hear more of Surprisingly's meaningful and unpredictable conversations? Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts. I'm your host, Bridget Dinahan. Thanks for listening.